Hello, dear learner. You're welcome to class Brilliant Learning with Tutor Esther. And today, by the grace of God, we'll be learning something that will help your mathematics right from primary school through secondary school. And our topic for today is rules of divisibility. So let's get started. Now, when we talk about rules of divisibility, what comes to mind? So let's imagine a student is asked to answer a quiz question like, is 2765 divisible by 2 within 5 seconds? And the options are either for the student to say true or false. Now, a random student will likely use a calculator and most likely will be unable to meet up with the 5 seconds ultimatum. However, a student who is brilliant, who has been properly coached, we immediately say false, as he quite understands by the rules of divisibility that 2765 cannot be divisible by 2 or is not divisible by 2. How is this possible? Let's get started. Now, when we talk about rules of divisibility, we talk about the rules that guide us in predicting whether a number will be divisible by a factor or not, without actually dividing the numbers. Now, this works very well when you have numbers that have 3, 4, 5, 6 digits, and you are asked whether such number will be divisible by a particular factor. All you need to do is just to apply your rule of divisibility. Is that okay? Now, let us check for the rule for 2. How do we know if a number is divisible by 2? A number is divisible by 2 if its last digit is 0 or even. So once a number ends with 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, certainly that number is divisible by 2. Let's look at our examples here. We have 234 is divisible by 2, 572 is divisible by 2, 776 as well as 19,840. All these numbers are divisible by 2. Let's look at the other one. 181 is not divisible by 2. How is this possible? Let's look at our reasons. For this first set of numbers, we have the last digits that are even or even 0, and that is why they all are divisible by 2. But for the second number, its last digit, it's 1. It's not even, it's not 0. That is the reason why it's not divisible by 2. I hope you are following. Now, for 3, how do we know a number is divisible by 3? A number is divisible by 3 if the sum of its digits is divisible by 3. What do we mean by this? Look at this example. 234 is divisible by 3. How do I know? Just by looking at it. And also, 181 is not divisible by 3. So how do we know this? Simply by applying the rule of divisibility. For 3, the sum of the digits must be divisible by 3. So when we add for 234, we have 2 plus 3 plus 4. That gives us 9. And now 9 is a multiple of 3, because 9 divided by 3 will give us a whole number, which is 3. This explains to us that 234 is divisible by 3. Is that okay? For the second example, 1 plus 8 plus 1 is 10. And 10 divided by 3 will give us 3, with 1 remaining. So because there's a remainder, we can say that 181 is not divisible by 3. Is that okay? Now, how do we know if a number is divisible by 4? The rule is this. A number is divisible by 4 if its last 2 digits is divisible by 4. What do we mean by this? Let's look at this example. 432 is divisible by 4. How do I know this? And at the same time, 181 is not divisible by 4. So let's look at our reasons. 32 in the first example is the last 2 digits. And because 32 is a multiple of 4, it is divisible by 4. This means that 432 is divisible by 4. And for our second example, 81 is the last 2 digits. And because 81 is not a multiple of 4, it's not divisible by 4. This means that 184 is not divisible by 4. I do hope you are following. How do we know if a number is divisible by 5? The number is divisible by 5 if its last digit is either 5 or 0. So when you have 1055, 20, all these numbers are divisible by 5. Okay, let's look at our examples. 125 and 3000 are divisible by 5. How do I know this? We will soon see the reasons. And at the same time, 71 is not divisible by 5. How? For the first example, the last digit is 5 in 125 and the last digit is 0 in 3000. And because the last digits are 5 and 0 respectively, that means that these two numbers are divisible by 5. And for our second example, 1 is the last digit, and because it is neither 5 nor 0, so 1 is not divisible by 5. Are you following? For this, we have 6. And how do we know if a number is divisible by 6? It will be divisible by 2 and 3 at the same time. Let's look at these examples. 3000 is divisible by 2 because it ends with 0, and is divisible by 3 because 3 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 3. Same as 126 is divisible by 2 because it's ending with an even number, and is divisible by 3 because the sum will give us 9, which is divisible by 3. Okay, 2342 is not divisible by 6. What are the reasons? For the first one, these two numbers are divisible by 2 and 3, and that is why they are divisible by 6. However, for 2342, it is divisible by 2 but not by 3. That means it is not divisible by 6. Are you clear with this? Alright. So this is our class phone. You will check if these numbers are divisible by the numbers in the bracket without using calculators and also without calculating it. You also need to give me your reason. So you will give me your answers in the comment section. I'll be waiting to see your answers, and make sure you like this video so that your colleagues, your classmates and other people around you around the world can have access to these videos and also learn brilliantly with Tutor Esther. Okay, I trust you enjoyed the class. See you in the next class. Bye bye.